Good morning, bird brains. Welcome back to another video out on the Fat Bob today. And today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that I hate about being a motovlogger. If you don't want to listen to me bitch for the next however long this video is, I also released a 5 things I love about being a motovlogger on the same day. I'll go ahead and leave a link for that down in the description so you can go check that out. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So first off, I do want to point out that these are in no specific order. This is just 5 things that came to mind. But starting off at number 1 is going to be the stress. Now, I will admit that I have gotten a whole lot better at managing the stress that comes with this over the past 3 years. A lot of that has to do with kind of the system that I've put into place to kind of alleviate any pain points that I had, or alleviate as many pain points as I had in the entire process, whether that be, equipment failures, editing time, uploading processes. I've tried to automate as much as I possibly can, and I feel like I'm in a good spot now to where everything goes pretty smooth. But of course there is always that stress of, committing to 2 videos a week, which I used to do 3, but I think that's kind of one of those things of, alleviating the stress is going down to 2. That allows me to put out better videos, take a little bit more time on the videos, and overall just put out a better product. Next up on our list is going to be the time. Now, although I did just mention that I've gotten a lot better with my time management, it still does take quite a while to consistently put out good content. I definitely don't put in 40 hours a week every single week. There are some weeks that I do, but I would say on average it's between 20 and 30 hours a week. So if you put that into perspective, like I don't do YouTube full time. I think I need to, emphasize that. I have a 40-hour-a-week job. Granted, I'm very pampered and I work Monday through Friday 9 to 5 indoors, but it's still time nonetheless. So spending, 23 hours a week, I enjoy it. It does pay dividends, but it's still time away from, hanging out with my wife, hanging out with my friends. Thankfully, I am fortunate enough to have friends that also do similar activities like ride bikes and work on bikes, so I get to spend time with them doing that. I'm running this light because I do not want us to be here when it's this hot. But at the same time, it does wear you down after a while. But like I said, I've gotten pretty good at learning when I need to take breaks, and I've also gotten really good at getting myself ahead on videos. That way I am able to take those much needed breaks. Number 3 is when I'm gonna start throwing some shade. The lazy people. And when I bring up the lazy people, I'm thinking of a couple people in specific. The people that say, oh, I wish I had sponsors, or something like, oh, why didn't you do this and this, when they're sitting there with, a stock bike and 0 videos on their channel. Going back to the people that say I wish, that's one of literally my biggest pet peeves as far as sayings is, oh, I wish I could do YouTube, or I wish I could work on bikes, or I wish I could, like I said, I wish I could get sponsors. Or the people that just ask me, that say like, hey, how did you get sponsors? I want to get sponsored. And I tell them like, hey, well, what do you have to offer in return? They're like, well, what do you mean? I could put it on my bike and tell people. I'm like, yeah, but who's going to be seeing your stuff? That's the whole thing. And they'll say like, oh, obviously it's not just you putting their stuff on your bike and showing it in videos. I'm like, that's exactly what it is. That's how marketing works. Like, if you see LeBron James drinking a Sprite, you think, oh, LeBron James is cool. He's drinking a Sprite. If I drink Sprite, I'll be cool. Granted, that's a very watered down version, but you get the point. But going back to my original complaint is the I wish. If I would have sat there and said, oh, I wish I could edit videos and not do anything to edit videos, I would have 0 subscribers. I'd have 0 videos. If I just sat there and said, oh, I wish I could work on bikes, as opposed to just going out there and learning and doing it myself, and you're gonna mess up along the way, of course. That's part of the learning process of self-teaching. But my dad always said, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. And I still I still live by that quote to this day. If you want to do YouTube, if you want to work on bikes, if you want to get sponsors, go out there and put in the work, and you can do it too. I'm just a guy with a camera. I'm just a guy with a camera and access to YouTube. That's literally the only advantage I have over anybody. Now moving on to number 4, which I just kind of generalized as the creative burden. And just to kind of summarize this, it's just it kind of ties into the stress category, but it's just that cloud over your head of you have to have 2 videos for this week. You have to put out content this week. I've put out at least a video a week for the last 3 years. I can't think of a week where I've missed videos. I've definitely missed days. Like if I promised a Tuesday, Thursday video, I might have missed a Tuesday, but I can't think of a single week where I have not put out a video in the past 3 years. And after a while, I mean, you can only be so creative. You can only do, you know, a topic a certain amount of times. And not only that, but the motovlogging market itself has gotten so large that it's hard to not, you know, have some type of crossover between, it's a fine line between ripping someone else's stuff off and being creative in your own way. I know a lot of people were accusing me of ripping off Shade Tree in my last video. I actually sent that video concept to Shade Tree prior to doing it and say like, hey, do you think this is like me ripping you off, or like how do you feel about this? And he pretty much said, I can't wait to see it. I'm super excited. Granted, Shade Tree is a cool guy like that. I wouldn't expect him to say anything otherwise, but at the same time, it's just nice to kind of know that I had the blessing. But going back to the creative burden, honestly, this is where I have to give a shout out to Mrs. Bird. She has gotten really good over the years of recognizing when I get stuck in one of these ruts, and we kind of have a rhythm now to when she sees me in one of these ruts, what we'll do is we'll actually set aside some time and go grab a coffee or a snack of some sort, somewhere where we can go and sit down and be away from all distractions and just talk one-on-one. And we pretty much focus on the channel, and basically what she does is just kind of, I wouldn't say that she comes up with the ideas herself. I don't think we've reached that point. I would love if we would reach that point. That would definitely be a help, but I don't expect her to do that. But she is very good at looking at things through a different lens and vocalizing those thoughts to where it kind of gets the gears turning in my head. For example, the concept of the Bagger Bro video actually came while we were at a Starbucks. We were outside talking through the rut, and as we were talking, a guy rode by on a bagger blaring Five Finger Death Punch, and I just kind of laughed to myself. I'm like, wow, imagine that. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, that's so stereotypical, like Bagger Bro, of him to just like be blasting Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, this guy was probably 50 yards away and I could hear it clear as day. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, that's something that a lot of Bagger Bros do, when the Five Finger Death Punch is kind of just like, you know, a lot of people listen to Five Finger Death Punch, kind of like that, you know, that badass look at me band. The light bulb kind of popped over on my head. I was like, what other things do Bagger Bros do that are super stereotypical? And that's kind of when I started jotting down notes and writing out my list of things I could include in the video. And then that kind of branched off into the Dyna Bro, since there's so many, you know, stereotypical Dyna Bros out there as well. So the creative burden, it sucks, but thankfully I've got a nice supporting background to kind of help me break through those creative walls. And then last but certainly not least, I left this one for last for a reason, and it's just the internet assholes. People will tell you all day long that, let me rephrase that, you'll hear it all the time that, you know, people can read negative comments all day and they just laugh them off and brush them off. It doesn't affect them. They just delete and block them and, you know, go about their day. I actually had a really interesting conversation with the Honor one. This actually took place on the Between Two Wheels interview with him, so if you want to listen to that, you can head over to BetweenTwoWheels.com and check out that episode. But we were talking about how the negative comments can really affect your mindset as a creator, and I actually told him that I actually have a rule that I put in place myself, that I will not allow myself to read comments before like 11 a.m. Every day of the week, I'm up at least 6 or 7 a.m. And on the days that I release videos, the first thing I want to do is wake up and see how my video is doing. But I have trained myself to wait. Reason being is that I can scroll through, I can wake up and have 200 comments on a video, and 199 of those comments are going to be positive, like, love this video, love what you're doing with the bike, this is one of your best videos ever. I mean, as positive as you can think. And there would be one comment of, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, this video sucks, why do you do YouTube? I mean, the things that people say online are just ruthless, and I will allow that one comment to stick in my head. That one comment will change my attitude for the day. It's stupid, I realize that it's just an internet troll being an internet troll, but I guess it's just who I am as a person. I guess I'm sensitive to my creative arts more than I initially thought, but that's why I put that rule into place, is that I'm not going to let those comments affect my entire day. Now, if I read them at 11 o'clock lunchtime, around there, I'm enough through the day to where I'm not going to let that ruin my day. It'll still be in the back of my mind, and it'll still kind of have that effect. What the f are you looking at? What is that? That thing is a bicycle with a motor. I think it's kind of cool, I can't lie. Anyways, back to what I was saying, is that that is one of the negative side effects of YouTube. It's just the internet trolls. No matter what you're doing, there's not a single person out there that has a video or has a channel with 0 dislikes and 0 haters, 0 trolls. It's the name of the game. No matter what, people are going to shit on it. So guys, there you have it. I know you didn't ask for it, but I put out this video anyways. Like I said earlier, if you want to watch a little bit more positive video, you can head over to the other video that I released today, the 5 things I love about motovlogging. I'll go ahead and include a link down in the description below. Other than that, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.